Okay, hello. Today I'm going to be talking about the first chapter of House of Chains. A few days ago I talked about the prologue. I was going to read a couple more chapters. I was thinking about maybe recording a video after chapter like 2 or 3. But after I read chapter 1, I knew I had to get some thoughts out because this is not what I expected at all. I didn't know what I expected. Or, well, I expected, I read the back of the book. Spoilers, I guess, but I read the back of the book, and I'm like, okay, I get it. So, Northern Abacus, a raiding party of savage tribal warriors descends from the mountains into the southern flatlands. Okay, I don't know about, savage tribal warriors. I don't know. Sounds a little like, calling people savages. Is there some, like, weird, there, I feel like that can be weird sometimes when you start calling, like, people savages, but, no, I think I would agree with that assessment. It is a raiding party of savage tribal warriors. Okay, so let's kind of roll it back a little bit. I was expecting not that, not what I got, but I'm still quite interested in what I got. Screw it, we're gonna roll it back. So, chapter 1 starts, and we're looking at this dog in a village that goes mad. It gets crazy or something, and it has to be put down by all the, tribesmen, all the warriors in the tribe or whatever. This is hundreds of years ago or whatever. And all of this happened, I think there's a line, this happened before the faces in the rocks appeared. I think so. It doesn't give a time for when this happened. Yeah. All of this, of course, happened centuries past, long before the seven gods opened their eyes. So this happened a long time ago. And there's like a child that gets sacrificed or something by they just leave the kid there to die. The child, after all, had been too young to pray, which is weird, because we learn later that these people of the I don't know what they're called, but they're the Tablar tribes. Tablar, whatever. I'm saying Tablar. The Tablar tribes are hero, quote unquote, Karsa Orlong is 80 years old, and that's considered a young man. So these people live a very long time. If that child was too young to pray, they could be 20. So that's strange. But anyways, then we open and we meet Karsa Orlong, and he's doing some shit. He's praying to the seven faces for a blessing of his war party, where he's gonna go, and he's gonna go take his two friends, Bareth Guild and Delum Thord, to raid the 6 other tribes, I guess the 5 other tribes, and fuck shit up on his way to Silver Lake. That's just the plan. The plan is just go fuck shit up. All good. I'm down for that. So, then he leaves, and after that, there's 7 crumpled, broken bodies that rise up because it's warm there. There's a plateau wind or something that comes down, and it's nice and warm there, and those bodies crawl their way out, and these are the 7 gods. I guess the Tablar worship them as gods, but they're not really gods, because no gods had ever been in this glade. That's a really good line. Anyways, they get up, they say some ominous stuff about yes, Karsa Orlong will be the one, finally, to lead us to blah 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 blah. I don't know. There's each of the tribe is dedicated to one god. I don't remember. There's the Urid. Karsa is part of the Urid clan, and I think it's the Urulio or whatever. I don't remember the names of the gods. I'm sure they'll come up at some point. I'm sure I'll learn them or not. There's 7 of them. I can't learn all that. I'll just get it as it goes along. And they kind of like bicker among each other or whatever, which is kind of fun. And yeah, they're not gods, so there's some foreshadowing there. Don't know what's up with that. I never know what's up with anything. I'm just down for the ride. So Karsa goes back to his village after praying to the gods, and he goes to his father, and he's like, "Father, will you give me your blessing?" And his father is like, "No." Basically, he doesn't say no, but he doesn't do it. He like, I think he lied. I'm pretty sure, or no, he lied about getting the blessing from his father, I'm pretty sure, to his friends. I think I'm getting a little out of order here. But we learn that, like, his, Karsa's father is, an excellent warrior, but he doesn't really live up to his legacy of his grandfather, of Karsa's grandfather, who's this great war leader, but he didn't do enough to on the way to Silver Lake or something. And there's a good scene, short scene, where after Karsa leaves, he gets given a horse by his father. I forgot what the horse's name is. It's not Gnaw, because Gnaw is the dog that he gets later, but Havoc. Havoc is the name of the horse, which is a good name for the horse. Where the father kicks out the grandfather from the house and says, like, if I ever see you around here again, I'm going to kill you. So, yeah. That happened. There's stuff with like the killing of children. It's all over the place. There's so many things that going on in this that are just like weird and like what's happening. So Karsa leaves, and as he's walking out to the main village, he looks at the 4 spiked poles that represent his 4 dead siblings who never got a big life or were sacrificed or something, I don't know. But, he's a little upset that the poles aren't decorated to be super pretty, because his father doesn't venerate he doesn't believe in doing the shit. Whatever. I don't know. Let's move this along. And then that happens later. So then he meets up with Berethgild and Delmthord, and Berethgild is like stolen Karsa's girl, and Karsa's a little bitch who can't handle that, as we find out later. There's a good line where, like, he says Bereth has been spending too much time on his back, and then Karsa thinks to himself, like, while Dalis is riding him. I thought that was pretty fun. But anyways, they fuck off. They get out of the village. And they're going to Silver Lake, and they're gonna go wreck some fucking havoc. And his father gave him the horse so that the horse would see a good death, not so that his like son would have a blessing. So his father heavily disapproves of what Karsa's choosing to do. So as they're like leaving, as Karsa, Ordan, Berethgild, and Delmthord, and they're always referred to with their full name. Whenever these motherfuckers are talking to each other, like, they don't say, "Hey, Dave." They say, "Hey, Dave Smith." They say their full name, which is interesting. Gives it a certain tone. As they're all leaving, they're watched by the Found, which is like the 7th tribe, because the 7 gods on the mountain, or whatever, the faces in the stone, 6 of them have like real flesh and blood tribes that worship each god, but the 7th one doesn't. So she takes the dead children and turns them into her tribe, and she takes the left half of their face so that they always look sad and everything they say sounds sad, which is a great exaggeration, but yeah, so that's cool. they could just eat raw meat. The Uriad could just eat raw meat. That's a thing they can just do starting semi recently. Um, what's up with that, huh? They used to just die to raw meat diseases, but they don't have to worry about those anymore. They're immune to bacteria. Um, and they like violently kill 8 people. Or is it 7? It's 7 people in a youth, or it's 8, as though a youth is not a person. There's 8 warriors that they slay. In battle, and one of them gets away, and it's the youth, and Bareth Guild and Delum Thord are upset at this because Karsa just charged in and annihilated 7 people with his sword dance. His Bloodwood sword, I think they're called. There's a lot of details, man. Even 3 of those would be a challenge for you, Karsa. Oh yeah? Just watch me dance. And then he runs in there and just, like, kills the fuck out of them. He gets slashed, like, 3 times, but, one of them is an injury that's even worth considering. The rest are just minor injuries. And there's just a line that's, like, the recovery will be swift or something. The Uriad people heal quickly from things like this. It is of no concern to them. So that's kind of sick. Love some quick healing. But they let the Uriad youth go because he's going to grow up to be a war leader that Karsa's going to make bend the knee to him. And he has vowed that. And Bareth is like, don't make vows you can't keep. And Karsa's like, oh yeah, watch me. A lot of boasting in this crowd. I love it. I love the, like, oh, you don't think I can do this? Well, I watch me. As, like, Karsa is constantly talking a big game, and Bareth and Delum are like, okay, all right. As, like, as Karsa kind of proves himself over time. But they're also, like, intelligent. These are not just people who, like, they are not incapable of thought, these savages. They just are brutal in everything they do. There's the talk of, like, killing children all the time. These people love killing children. Oh my god. They love killing children so much. Like, it's what they love to talk about all the time. But they let the youth go. They attack the tribe, or, like, these 8 warriors on foot. And Karsa did it on foot so that when the youth gets back to his tribe, or his village, they will limit the search and their minds so that they're thinking they're looking for 3 warriors who are on foot, when really they're 3 warriors that are on horseback, and they're long gone. So there is thought, and there is planning, and there is strategy with these people. They do know what they're doing. They're just here to fuck stuff up. I'm a little like, why are they so good at being such brutal killers? Karsa killed, like, 8 people on his own. It's like, where is this coming from? How are you able to do that? I guess he's just built different. Simply constructed to a different standard than mortal men. I mean, the guy's alive for 80 years and he's still a young man, so it just works differently. Let's see, what else do I have written down? I have a couple more things written down. So they then go to a village of Rathiad women, and, like, I don't know if I can say it on YouTube. I probably can. They, like, rape it up in there. They rape the whole village after slaughtering, like, the few youths that are still there. And there's some interesting things that happen there, where like, it's weird that I on the rape of the entire village. Part of the reason I wanted to just record this video before I read any further was that I thought, like, that's it. I've seen the worst. I've seen how terrible this world is. It can't get much worse than that. I've read through, Garden of the Moon, and I read about people getting blown up by fireballs in the Siege of Pale, and that was some bad shit. And then I read Dead House Gates, and I bore witness to all of Coltane's Chain of Dogs, and that was some terrible, terrible stuff. And then I read, where is it? Memories of Ice, and I saw the Tenniscoury, and I saw what happened to Talk the Younger, and I'm like, this is terrible. It can't get worse. Man, oh man, does Steven Erikson ever find a way to surprise? Part of the reasons I'm a little ashamed to admit, that part of the reason I read these books is just to see how bad it gets. There's a morbid curiosity there that is not the only reason I read these books, but it is certainly one of the reasons. And this book came out swinging just immediately with Karsa and his like war band on their way to Silver Lake. Just the way it is described is so... It doesn't feel gratuitous. It feels like it is just telling me that, oh yeah, so the Karsa left one guy alive, and then Bareth and Dellum hacked him into pieces. Okay. What of it? Like, that's just what they did. It doesn't feel like gore porn or anything. It's just fucked up. That's all. So yeah, they rape the whole village, and Karsa, something I've neglected to mention so far is that his like preconceptions of the world are kind of shattering a little bit at the same time, because Bareth says, who's a little clever, he's a clever guy. Bareth says that when they return to the village, having been successful in their raiding to Silver Lake, the elders of the Ureid clan will claim that they had blessed Karsa, Orlong, on his journey and on his conquest. And Karsa will go along with it. And the whole tribe will go along with it, and all of them will know it is a lie. Everyone will know it is not true, but they will go along with it because that's what you do. And I think that that's a very interesting thing to see, that like reality of the tales that Karsa had heard growing up, about his grandfather, just about war leaders, or just about the history of his tribe, are all changing, and he's looking at it with a different perspective. How you made it to 80 years old and never had this realization, beyond me. But that's a very interesting twist on it, and that kind of what feeds into that is an interaction he has with the eldest, like the chief's wife of the Rathid village, where the woman says that your grandfather came through here so long ago, and he begged passage. And Karsa says, "You lie, don't lie to me." And the woman just shrugs, and is like, "Okay, whatever you say." And just that, like, if you want to believe that, okay, but I'm telling you what happened. Is the old woman lying? I don't know. It's possible, but we don't know. I don't know. Maybe we'll find out later. And then they rape the whole village. There was something I was going to mention about that. There's always things I'm going to miss. I'm try to keep these a little on topic. Okay, so I like the way that they speak. They speak short to the point, like like yes, there is flowery language, but it's like how Spartans talk. Um, like the Spartans would, if they ever said anything out loud, it had been, they've been practicing their wit and sharpening it to such a fine point that basically you can't defeat them um, in words, right? Everything these guys say is like sharp, it is on point. There's no like excessive verbiage or words. They're just cutting right to what they want to say. Um, I like the bearing witness. I am witness to this. Beareth Guild, bear witness to my dance, or whatever. It's important to be seen and to be remembered. Or I guess not just to be seen, but to be witnessed. To be like, look upon my, look upon my work, ye mighty, and despair. Like, that's important to the culture of this tribe. Very, very interesting indeed. Trying to think if there's anything else to mention. There's always more to mention, but I could easily make the video an hour, and I've only read a chapter. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut it there. I have to get ready to go somewhere. Yeah, so that's all I've got for Chapter 1. Maybe I'll do one for Chapter 2. Maybe I'll wait for Chapter 3 and do 2 and 3. We'll see. Take it easy, but take it. Bye.